Hey folks, welcome back to the AfroComedyVibes channel, where we talk about comedy in the African continent. Today, we will be looking at comedy and literature. Comedy has long been an essential aspect of literature, providing not only entertainment, but also insightful commentary on the human condition. From the ancient plays of Aristophanes to the satirical novels of modern times, the relationship between comedy and literature is rich, evolving, and deeply rooted in cultural history. In this exploration, we will delve into how comedy enhances literature, its historical development, its thematic functions, and the ways in which it reflects the complexities of human life. Comedy in the roots of literature. The roots of comedy in literature can be traced back to ancient Greece, where the dramatic arts were central to public life. Aristophanes, one of the most prominent playwrights of ancient Greece, is famous for his comedic plays, which often critiqued political figures, societal norms, and cultural trends. These plays used humor not just for laughter, but for social and political commentary. Works like Lysistrata and The Clouds are examples of how comedy was used as a tool for addressing serious issues. The origins of comedy in literature are not just confined to Greece, however. In early English literature, comedic traditions emerged with the works of Geoffrey Chaucer, whose The Canterbury Tales, 14th century, blended humor with moral lessons, showcasing human flaws in a way that was both entertaining and insightful. Chaucer used comedic elements such as irony, satire, and farce to comment on the hypocrisy and corruption of society, making his work both humorous and socially critical. The role of comedy in literature. Comedy in literature plays several crucial roles, and its function is not always confined to light-hearted entertainment. While it certainly provides humor and relief, it also allows writers to explore more profound themes. One of the primary roles of comedy in literature is its ability to expose human frailties, contradictions, and absurdities. By exaggerating flaws and creating situations that highlight the ridiculous, comedy forces readers to confront uncomfortable truths. For instance, in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, the comedy lies in the chaotic situations that arise from love's unpredictable nature. The characters' romantic misunderstandings and magical interventions create a comedic atmosphere. But at the same time, Shakespeare uses this humor to explore deeper themes of love, identity, and the blurred lines between reality and illusion. Moreover, comedy can serve as a mirror to society, offering commentary on social structures, cultural norms, and political dynamics. Satirical works like Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, 1726, use humor to critique the failings of contemporary society and politics. Swift's biting satire mocks the arrogance of the ruling classes, exposing human folly through the absurd adventures of Gulliver in distant lands. Types of comedy in literature. There are various types of comedy that have evolved in literature over time, each offering different kinds of insight into human nature and society. Some of the most prominent types include satire. Satirical comedy aims to expose and ridicule human vices and follies, often targeting societal norms, politics, or institutions. Writers like Mark Twain, through works such as The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, 1884, use satire to comment on the social issues of their time, particularly racism and hypocrisy. Farce. Farce is a type of comedy that emphasizes absurdity, slapstick humor, and improbable situations. It is often characterized by exaggerated characters and situations that defy logic. One of the most well-known practitioners of farce in literature is the French playwright Molière, whose works like Tartuffe, 1664, critique religious hypocrisy with humor and wit. Dark comedy. This type of comedy explores tragic, grotesque, or taboo subjects, but presents them in a humorous light. Writers like Joseph Heller in his novel Catch-22, 1961, use dark comedy to highlight the absurdity of war, bureaucracy, and the human condition. Romantic comedy. Often involving misunderstandings, mistaken identities, and romantic entanglements, romantic comedy focuses on the lighter side of love and relationships. Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, 1813, is a perfect example, where humor arises from the social dynamics and misunderstandings between characters, with the promise of eventual resolution through marriage. Comedy as a tool for social critique. One of the most significant ways in which comedy and literature intersect is through social critique. Comedy has the unique ability to disarm its audience, allowing writers to address controversial topics and subversive ideas without alienating their readers. Because humor can disarm, people are often more willing to engage with difficult or uncomfortable ideas when they are presented with comedy. A key example of this is 1984 by George Orwell, a dystopian novel that uses dark humor and irony to critique the totalitarian state. Through the absurdity of doublethink and the grotesque bureaucratic structures that control society, Orwell's novel becomes both a chilling cautionary tale and a biting critique of authoritarianism. Additionally, the modern genre of stand-up comedy has become an important form of social commentary, as comedians use humor to critique everything from politics to race relations, often challenging societal expectations and conventions. Comedy and its relationship with tragedy. Comedy and tragedy have been viewed as two sides of the same coin in literature. Historically, they have often been paired together to highlight the extremes of human experience. This duality is particularly prominent in Shakespeare's plays, where comedic elements are often juxtaposed with tragic themes. For instance, Twelfth Night, 1602, is primarily a comedy, but it contains undercurrents of loss, identity, and unrequited love that echo the tragic. In many cases, the structure of comedy can mirror that of tragedy. For example, comedies often involve a series of mistaken identities, misunderstandings, or absurd situations that eventually lead to resolution and happiness. Tragedies, on the other hand, may involve similar misunderstandings or flaws, but these flaws lead to irreversible consequences. The contrast between comedy and tragedy serves to deepen the emotional impact of both genres, illustrating the complexity of human life. Comedy in contemporary literature. In contemporary literature, comedy continues to evolve, often blurring the boundaries between genres. Writers like Kurt Vonnegut, in novels such as Slaughterhouse-Five, 1969, combine elements of dark comedy, science fiction, and historical fiction to address serious themes such as the horrors of war and the absurdity of life. The humor in Vonnegut's writing provides relief from the devastating subject matter, while simultaneously making the reader confront the bleak realities he describes. Another contemporary example is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 1979, by Douglas Adams. This science fiction comedy uses absurdity, satire, and wit to explore existential themes and the meaning of life, offering readers a comedic yet thoughtful reflection on the absurdities of the universe. The enduring power of comedy in literature. The connection between comedy and literature is both deep and enduring. Comedy has the power to entertain, but it also provides an invaluable lens through which we can explore the complexities of human life, social structures, and the world around us. Whether through satire, farce, or dark humor, comedic literature often reveals uncomfortable truths and forces us to confront the absurdities of existence. Through its ability to blend humor with critical insight, comedy remains one of the most vital tools for both reflecting on and shaping the world we live in. In the end, comedy is not just about making us laugh, it's about making us think, often by showing us the silliness in the serious and the seriousness in the silly. Whether ancient or modern, farcical or philosophical, the connection between comedy and literature will continue to be a crucial element of storytelling for generations to come.